The dating life at 50 is strange, and especially when
Dating at 40 is hard. This is some hard shit.
So I just got ghosted by the first guy I went on a date with after my divorce.
Being invisible after a certain age, it's almost like,
I want to know why is it so hard to find love?
At a certain age, women start living in a different world where their past choices hunts them.
after I got divorced, I was so lonely and isolated.
Where are all the single men in Singapore?
Dating after divorce is funky. Everything is just pure crap out there.
Dating sucks 100%.
For many of them, it's a reflection of their actions, playing around in the field too long. Kindly subscribe to the channel, as it further supports us in our work. Thank you.
Can we talk about dumbest reasons that we've been broken up with or ghosted? I'll go first. You guys know I'm new to this dating thing after divorce. It's a whole new world. First real relationship, met somebody, thought we got along great, loved sports, could trash talk for days, good energy, had so much fun together, met each other's friends and family. But because I lost weight after divorce and I haven't properly toned up yet, I have a little bit of excess skin around my belly. And that, in fact, was the deal breaker.
So this is a big part too. He dumped me. He did talk a lot about his ex-wife, said how beautiful she was, how every man wanted her, how she was perfect for him. And so I got dumped. Now I'm really fucking single. I will always be single. No more chances, no more dates, nothing. Done.
Just back from a walk with my friend Holly. She had some very interesting information on where to find single men. Here's Holly.
Where do you think the best place to meet a guy is?
Produce section, Whole Foods, 5 o'clock. Don't get there at 3. They're not there. 5. Gorgeous guys all come in, have no idea how to get a mango, a cantaloupe, or a piece of cheese. So go there, hang around, and you'll meet a ton of gorgeous men.
This is the new method now for women to get men. Just go where they are, act clueless, and hope a man approaches them. What started with a trend of women flocking to places like Home Depot, hoping to bump into a handy, hard-working man, has now evolved into the next level of desperation, actually invading men's spaces, even while shopping for groceries. Many women who do this are either behind or trying to catch up. This sense of urgency often leads to behaviors that can come across as forced or even really desperate. Instead of taking the time to reflect on what men are genuinely looking for or how the dating landscape has evolved, they jump into spaces they believe are prime for meeting men.
Dating after divorce is the most complicated thing ever. There's talking stages, there's dating stages, there's situationships. What is all of this? First of all, I don't know how to not be a wife. I want to cook for you. I want to clean for you. I want to check in on you. I want to call you all the time because you're my man, but not my man. And I also want to go batshit crazy. And I can't because you're my man, but like not my man. It's so hard.
Older women become invisible, and older men, particularly older white men, are not invisible. And that irritates me. But it's not really being driven by irritation. It's being driven by curiosity.
I want to know why is it so hard to find love? I am 53 years young, but I can tell you I have never had an issue, certainly when I was younger, of finding plenty of choices in men, especially in quality men. Now, obviously, I'm not hanging out in clubs anymore, like I did in my 20s. So trying to find men when you don't go out and party definitely is a deterrent. or at least it's an issue of trying to find a man to date. I'm not like just looking for any guy to date, like just, give me some man body. No, trying to find a quality man. I'm on dating sites. I'm on 5 or 6 different dating sites. And let me just tell you, it's not good. These dating sites are horrible. I just preface this by saying, I know that everyone deserves love. My feeling is there is a lid for every pot.
She literally just answered her own question. She mentioned that when she was younger, finding men was easier for her But now that she's older, she's having issues finding love. I understand the desire to find love. It's a universal human need. But being on 6 dating sites at the age of 50 really shows just how challenging it has become for older women. It's a stark contrast to the ease they experienced in their youth when attention came naturally. What's even more telling is that some of them don't want to accept the fact that dating has changed for them. The dynamics they once relied on no longer apply. Men aren't lining up the way they used to, and the competition is different. Being on multiple dating sites at that age is a clear indication of how hard they're trying. But it also highlights how much the landscape has shifted against them. For many, the unwillingness to acknowledge these changes only exacerbates their struggles.
Let me tell you, dating at 40 is hard. This is some hard shit because I feel like I'm stepping in a pile of dog doo-doo. Dog doo-doo. These men don't know what they want, where they're going. They want to be babysit. I can't deal with that. I need a real man.
If I have to go through one more talking stage, I'm gonna lose my mind. What's your favorite color? I don't know, Rob. The color of not getting spontaneously ghosted. What are your hobbies? Well, Brad, not being a part of your casual dating roster is at the top of the list. How many kids do you have? And how old are they? We are in our mid-40s to early 50s, Greg. Our kids are grown. They ain't looking for a new daddy. I am.
It sounds like she's been going through it, but in some cases, this is the reality for women over 50 who are dating. They often run into guys who only want them for a short time and then ghost them. Unfortunately, this can be a harsh wake-up call about how much the dating landscape has shifted as they've aged. This reality is hard for many women to accept because it feels unfair. They've gained wisdom, experience, and a deeper understanding of themselves, but those qualities don't always seem to attract the type of men they want. The bottom line is, dating for women in their 40s to 50s is not a place they want to be. By this point in their lives, many of these women expected to be in stable, long-term relationships or enjoying the fruits of a partnership they invested in over the years. Instead, they find themselves back in the dating scene, a place that feels foreign, competitive, and often frustrating. What a shame.
It really gets on my goat. There's an Aussie expression for you. I have to say, it is one of the things that pushes my button is when people say that women over 50 become invisible. I just don't feel invisible. And I really don't know what that's about. Do we feel invisible and then we stop speaking up? We stop demanding to be seen? Or are people ignoring other women? They're not ignoring me. So it could be a temperament thing. It could be a personality thing that, you know, I just have a confidence about me that I wouldn't allow someone to ignore me. I'd be quite cross if someone tried to serve someone before me.
You're right. Dating really has gotten hard. Like 6 years ago when I first got into this, it was easy. I dated a couple of different people. One of them I dated for 9 months and then stopped and kind of started seeing somebody else for probably 4 months, 5 months. That was just, and we were just dating. We weren't looking for nothing long term. We were both on the same page, or we were same page. Now it has changed within the 6 years. It seems like it's gotten harder, and I don't understand. I don't know what about it has changed. I don't know why it's changed. Somebody have some insight on it, because I don't get it. It's very hard to find somebody now that you even click that I even click with, or that you can click with, or that you get along with. I almost sometimes think, why? Why am I even trying? What's the point? But I do. I keep trying. because you just never know. I mean, you can't stop. I don't want to stop going out and having fun. So, but what do? What do you really do? And why? Somebody out there has to know why it's changed so much. Literally, it's changed within 6 years.
Because it's no longer worth it. And many women have made it impossible. Women's criteria is absurd more often than not. The ladies are just waiting for the next best thing, and we are tired. Men have been done so wrong. We don't want to take chances no more. I think many women have already missed their chances with a good guy by giving up years of their lives to situationships like this woman mentioned. Older women are having difficulty dating because the landscape has changed drastically. Men have become more selective, choosing peace, stability, and genuine connections over the drama, entitlement, and baggage that often accompany these encounters. In these women's age bracket, many of the men they would consider dating are already married or have been divorced. The divorced men, having gone through the emotional and financial toll of marriage and separation, are often reluctant to walk down that path again. This leaves many women competing for a smaller pool of available men. That's why many of these women struggle to find a man to date.
So I did it today. I actually deleted my dating app. I was on Bumble and Tinder. Trash. Both of them are trash. I mean, yeah, no, I'm over it.
I have a lot of thoughts about dating apps. My main thought is, what the fuck is wrong with them? No, really, what the fuck is wrong with them? I'm dating someone now that I know from college. So far, so good, and pray that I don't fuck it up, because I can't go back out there. I can't do it. I don't know what it's like to date in your 20s, 30s, 40s on the apps, or 60s. I don't know. I can only speak to what it's like in my 50s, because I'm 53. And I probably opened up and deleted Hinge, Bumble, all the things multiple times. So if things don't work out with him and I do fuck it up, I'm just going to try to meet someone in the wild, or I will pay for a matchmaker.
So let's first, we'll set the tone here a little bit. I'm 41. I've been divorced for almost 10 years. I have a great career. I have my own house. I have a nice car. I do pretty well for myself, right? Why is it so hard to find a guy? So I, went out with this guy for a couple of months, thought it was going good, thought maybe, let's move to the next level, And he's like, I'm just not ready for a serious relationship. Oh, okay. Maybe, maybe in a couple months I might be ready. Why in a couple months? Right? I don't get it. Then I started talking to this other guy who reached out to me. So we were talking, and we're supposed to have drinks maybe this weekend. And he sends me a snap and says, I got a lot going on with my job, and I just don't think I have time or the energy to put into a relationship. And both these guys are in their 40s, right? So at what age are they ready for a relationship? Is it like 60, maybe in their 70s? I don't know, because I feel like they're not getting any younger, and I honestly, I just don't get it. Is it me? Am I too independent of a person? Maybe it is me. I don't know. So help me out here, guys or girls, whatever you got for me. But this dating scene is ridiculous, and I live in the middle of a freaking cornfield, right? So pickings are pretty slim, right? So when you find a good one, you kind of try to snatch onto it. But I don't know. Maybe it is me. Who knows?
There isn't any benefit for guys to have a serious relationship. And guys don't care that you have a good job, car, house. After being married for almost 30 years divorced, there is no benefit. I was married for 10 years. Nothing I ever did was good enough, and she was always worried about what someone else had. She was never content with what we had. Never again. I'm 47, successful, widower. I don't look for successful women. There was nothing on that list she mentioned that would attract a man for a long-term relationship. It's like she's completely missing the point of what men are actually looking for in a partner. The struggles she's running into now as a divorced woman are part of a predictable cycle. She keeps encountering guys who aren't ready to commit, and honestly, many of them probably see her as a casual option rather than someone to build a future with. I mean, take a look at this woman. She looks like she's about to burst into tears. You can see the frustration and exhaustion written all over her face. She's trying everything, likely pouring her heart and energy into finding a partner, but it's just not working. The reality is, the qualities that might have attracted men in the past, like youth, optimism, and a willingness to grow together, aren't there anymore.
Hey, dumbasses, here's one for you. I went on a first date tonight. The guy was super nice, but he asked the dumbest fucking question. Don't ask this question. Oh my God, I can't believe he even asked this question. And then he asked me, you're not crazy, are you? And I'm like, did you just ask me if I was crazy? He's like, well, I just had a crazy woman before and she stalked me. And I said, you know, you might want to rephrase that a little bit. Like, maybe if you want to find out if they're crazy, then maybe there's a better way to say that, buddy.
Nobody talks about is that women start going through hormonal changes.
You think women are out here in their 40s just randomly divorcing men because they're going through hormonal changes? Are you fucking serious? I think that this is just gaslighting. You know what I'm saying? Because we're out here, we know exactly why we're divorcing you motherfuckers. And it's not because we're going through hormone changes. It's because we realize our worth. We get sick of your shit. That's what we're doing. All of the lies and the conflict and the miscommunication and the infidelity and the lack of support and feeling like we are shouldering the emotional burden for the entire relationship because you can't just fucking be an adult. Okay?
No, women are not randomly divorcing men. They're leaving because they're bored. They often claim they're the ones bearing the emotional burden in the marriage. But what about the guy who silently swallows it up and deals with it? Men are expected to endure their struggles without complaint, providing emotional and financial stability while receiving little acknowledgement for their sacrifices. In many cases, men are quietly suffering under the pressure of being the rock of the family, constantly ensuring that everything stays afloat. They suppress their own emotions because society often dismisses their struggles, labeling them as weak if they open up. Meanwhile, the narrative that women are the only ones who feel burdened emotionally in a marriage becomes a convenient justification for leaving when things no longer feel exciting.
So, I should have been on a date tonight with a guy who I've started seeing, and he's completely ghosted me. And it's fine.
I had a friend ask me what my favorite question to ask on a first date was, and I replied, is there anybody who thinks that you're in a relationship with him?
Let's talk about it. Why is it so challenging to date now in the over 40 age group? You would think we're more established. We know what we want. We know what we're looking for. We have our things together. But I'm starting to recognize they playing just as many games as the young people. Might as well date younger. If you're going to deal with somebody that's immature, not responsible, won't hold themselves accountable, can't be honest, cheating, what's the purpose? I'm not playing. I am trying to understand why is it so challenging to date in the over 40 age group.
While it should be easier for people who are established to date in their 40s, having careers, financial stability, and life experience, it can actually be quite challenging because of the baggage that many people bring into the relationship. By this stage in life, most individuals have gone through significant experiences that have shaped who they are, but not all of those experiences are positive. Divorce, children from previous relationships, Unresolved emotional trauma, financial issues, or even a hardened perspective on love can make it harder to build a fresh, meaningful connection. For many, the baggage comes in the form of trust issues or insecurities developed from past relationships. They might still be guarded, afraid of getting hurt again, or skeptical of a partner's intentions. Dating in your 40s can certainly be rewarding, but the baggage people bring in often requires patience, and not many people are patient with such things.
So you're telling me that these dudes pay money for roses so they can send them to me to increase their chances of having a conversation with me?
Yeah. I hear that's how it's supposed to work. So what's the problem?
But I don't get a cut of that?
What? I'm sorry, is one expecting to get paid for one's time in regards to one's interactions with men? There's a word for that.
Hinge keeps that? Hinge takes these dudes' money and pockets it? That's some unethical get a dime.
Now let's think really hard about what exactly it's called when a woman gets paid for her time when it comes to interactions with men in the social setting.
Dating on the apps was really fun. I mean, in the 4 years that I've been dating, I've only dated one person that I knew in real life. I'm tired of swiping. It's a chore. I really want to be in a loving, committed relationship. I'm more fulfilled that way. I know what I bring to the table, and I can provide someone else with a fulfilling relationship. So I think that a matchmaker, I'm hoping, is going to help me find that needle in a haystack. I live in New Jersey. I live in the New York metropolitan area. There's gotta be a great middle-aged Jew for me around here somewhere. And maybe he's too busy to be on the dating apps because the dating apps are... So hopefully he's also reaching out to a matchmaker somewhere.
Dating has not been fun for me. I just can't do the apps, and I've been single for 10 years. Ugh. At this stage of the game, many older women or women who got divorced have been yearning to get back into a relationship, but they're frustrated because they just can't land anybody. This woman here is even willing to pay a matchmaker to try and find her a man. And of course, the women in the comments feel the same way, sharing stories of their struggles to connect with someone. It's a reflection of how the dating landscape has shifted against them. Many of these women are now realizing that the options they once had are no longer available to them. The yearning for companionship becomes bittersweet as these women grapple with the reality that finding a good partner in their current stage of life is far more challenging than it once was. While some adjust and find fulfillment in personal growth or other aspects of life, others are left longing for what they lost or what they let slip away.
I hate this part. The part of dating where you went on a first date and it went great. There's nothing bad you can say, but you just didn't feel a romantic connection. And then you have to follow up with a text that says like, hey, had a great time, but I just don't think I can get there romantically. And then you're a people pleaser, so you feel bad not pleasing them. And they don't take it well. And then you just feel shitty.
Can somebody please explain to me why dating in your 40s sucks so much? Because, I've been divorced for a number of years now, and I have 5 kids, and life is crazy. And, I've spent a lot of time taking care of myself, taking care of my kids, working hard, putting myself through school, da-da-da-da-da. And then, I finally get to a place where I feel like I'm ready to add a person into my life, right? So I start dating, and it's either guys who just want to have sex with me, or you start talking to them and then they ghost you, or 500 like you, but none of them even send a message. And it's just ridiculous. And the reality is I don't go to the bar. I don't drink. And, I don't want anything to do with that scene. So really and truly, how do you meet people now? Like, this world is so different than it was when I was in my 20s and before I got married and all that stuff. And now it's like people are really far away, or you chat for a little while and then it stops. And I'm just curious if there's anything out there that's just marriage out of convenience, two people who want a partner and to not live alone anymore, to help pay the bills and all that stuff. So, if you're willing to do a marriage out of convenience, let me know, because maybe I'm at that point where I'm not an ugly woman. I am not a difficult person to get along with. I am positive and upbeat and happy. I love my children so much. But I also want a companion. I want a best friend. I want somebody to dance with me in the kitchen. I want somebody to walk by and slap my ass as I'm cooking dinner. I want somebody to help and to hold me. Are there men like that out there anymore? Because I feel like there's not. I'm really quite disappointed. So anyway, I just figured I'd put my little 2 cents out there that dating in your 40s sucks. And I wish it wasn't this way. So anyway, have a blessed day.
There are men out there in the world who might be willing to take on a situation like hers. But let's be real, her situation is undeniably complicated. She's a mum with 5 kids, and while being a mother is a noble and admirable role, it's also a huge responsibility that not every man is ready or willing to step into. For many men, the idea of taking on the role of a stepfather to 5 children can feel overwhelming, both emotionally and financially. It's not just about building a relationship with her. It's about building trust and bonds with 5 other individuals who already have their own dynamics, needs, and potential challenges. Ultimately, what she's looking for isn't just love, it's help. She wants someone who can provide stability, share her burdens, and offer her the companionship and support she's yearning for. But that's a big ask for any man, especially in today's dating world where many men are looking for simplicity, peace, and an opportunity to start fresh with someone who doesn't come with as much baggage. Her reality doesn't align with what most men are seeking in a partner.
Why do good guys make you feel bored? Many girls, despite all they love bad boys, in reality they dream of healthy relationships. And they want an understanding person next to them. But when such candidate is found, you see in him a weak guy. He's soft-bodied, boring, and he doesn't suit you at all. Another thing with a guy with whom you feel like on a roller coaster. Somehow it makes you feel loved and needed. Why is this happening and what to do with that? Well, you think that a nice guy is boring because he doesn't give you those butterflies around your stomach and that anxiety. But the thing is that many people confuse those feelings with love. And as a result, they enter into unhappy relationships.
Most modern women only dream of getting into healthy relationships once they finish having their fun. Many of them may claim they like good guys now, but the good guy wasn't their first option. Speaking of butterflies, that's how many of them gets played and end up hurt in the process. Women who rely on butterflies are often chasing a fleeting feeling of attraction or excitement without fully considering the long-term compatibility or emotional stability of the relationship. They get swept up in the rush of chemistry and the feeling of being alive when they're around someone who challenges them, makes them feel special, or gives them that rush of excitement. But this feeling can easily cloud their judgment, causing them to overlook red flags or ignore the fact that the relationship might not be built on solid ground. In the end, when the butterflies fade, they're left with the aftermath, emotional turmoil, disappointment, and sometimes a broken heart. That's how the bad boys play the game, and that's when they look for good men.
The first date I went on after my divorce, I was terrified that he would show up on the date and he would think I was too fat and ugly and, I don't know, be mad at me or something. I couldn't even eat 2 days before. I really couldn't keep food down. I was so nervous. I just had such intense insecurities about how I looked. I just thought, no one's gonna want me. I'm not attractive. I have a pixie cut. I'm, overweight. I'm really photogenic and I know how to pose myself in these photos. And what if I show up on the date and he's just yeah, you don't look like that.
Hello. So can we just take a minute and talk about, just brief. This is not my area of expertise, the opposite of, but can we discuss dating in your 50s? Yeah, so I have lately decided to make an effort to do what is being called decentering men. So I am focusing on me and dating myself, but I'm also out there trying to meet people in the wild or even on the apps, but I'm not doing it in a way that is taking up my time, and I am more than happy to spend time by myself. But can I just say, I am so over this weird ghosting culture. Now, not all the men I have been on dates with ghost me, but I can say more than half of them have. I don't need anything to be an amazing connection. And if it's been one date, I don't care. But sometimes it's 4 weeks or more. And suddenly, I no longer exist. Now, when I first got divorced and started dating, one man did this to me. This is 7.5 years ago. And I literally thought he must have died because I had been married for 16 years. And I didn't even know this was a thing. It was just so unheard of to me. And I was like, no. He must have had a heart attack and died. No, obviously that's not what happened. He ghosted me. Anyway, I don't know why I'm sharing this. It just feels like a public service message. And, any advice on how to meet men in the wild at my age, I will be open for suggestions.
It's brutal hell out here. The ghosting, cancelling, etc. is ridiculous. The whole ghosting thing is so rude and inconsiderate. It's crazy. So sad. I sadly can say women do this too. I think with women, you can kind of tell they're fading out. But yeah, dating is difficult. You overvalued yourself, and now it's the wall you are working against. You'll have much more luck dating gentlemen in their 60s and 70s. As a 52-year-old male, I wouldn't look in your direction. When women are at the wall, what they're really experiencing is the culmination of all the choices they've made throughout their lives that led them to this point. Whether it's prioritizing their career over relationships, or engaging in relationships that were never truly aligned with their values. Now, this woman says she's decentering men, but here's the contradiction. How can you claim to be decentering men, removing them from the spotlight of your life, and then turn around and complain about being ghosted by them? It's like saying you don't need them, you don't want them to hold any power or importance in your life, yet when they treat you the way you claim to want to be treated, indifferently or without commitment, it becomes a source of frustration. It doesn't add up. In fact, complaining about ghosting or uncommitted men while claiming to decenter them shows a disconnect. On one hand, you're distancing yourself from dependence on men for validation, and on the other, you're still clinging to the hope that men will show up in a way that aligns with your expectations.